Hello and welcome to the 25th installment of my grading of all of the base game cards. If you want insight into the grading system, check out the description or click on the link in the top right hand corner to get to the first video, where I explain it all. But let's get started. Let's start off today's episode with a bit of a weird card. Methane from Titan. Normally, Jovian tags in the base game focus on titanium/MC prod, straight up points, or a mix of both. There are two outliers, Methane from Titan and Beam from a Thorium asteroid. Both of these cards do grant some points, but if that's the reason you're playing them, you're doing something wrong, because they are way too expensive for just that. The rest of the design is really similar. Both of these cards have an annoying requirement that you can theoretically reach in Gen 1 or 2, but often takes longer, and this is counterbalanced by a really good terraforming potential if you can play them early. Methane from Titan is one of the best cards in the game if you can play it in Gen 1, since during the course of the game it will grant you at least 2 greeneries and 2 temperature bumps on its own. Of course, it's best if combined with other plant or heat producing cards. But similar to Beam from a Thorium asteroid, this card loses value significantly when played later, but I'd say that weakness is not as pronounced. You can still easily play this in Gen 4 or 5 and feel good about it. But at the same time, its impact in Gen 1 is probably a bit smaller than that of Beam from a Thorium asteroid. So I'd say it's a bit more flexible but a bit weaker in its best case scenario. Therefore, I'll put it in the same tier as Beam, the C tier. Micromills is a truly atrocious card. 3+3 MC for 1 meager heat prod. It has no tag and therefore no combo potential, as well as no way to pay for this with minerals. It can't be used for any milestone except Generalist, and I would take pretty much any heat prod card over it. You might say, why pay 4 more for imported GHG when you get just 3 heat more? Firstly, you get your first heat conversion 3 gens earlier, so also you get the TR earlier, and secondly, 3 instant heat are sometimes useful to get a bonus step on the heat track. Also, imported GHG is a space event with an earth tag. There are a million possible combos for this card, and there are absolutely none for Micromills. F tier never picked this up in the draft, except maybe as the last card to claim Generalist. There are only a few cards that are as simple as mine. It costs 4 MC, grants a building tag and a steel prod. It pays back in 4 gens if you consider the cost of buying the card, and therefore 1 gen sooner as acquired company or sponsors. Similarly simple cards that grant MC prod. I'd still rank mine C tier though, as steel is not as flexible as MC. If you're running out of building tags to play or just not draw the right ones at the right time, it doesn't matter that mine pays back 1 gen sooner. Of course, mine is great for builder and contractor, but I'm sure you know that. There's not much to talk about with mine. It's a simple early game development card and in my opinion C tier. Next up, we have Mineral Deposit. Basically, everyone knows this card is good. I mean, it grants 10 MC worth of steel for 5+3. A net positive, without any combo potential, granted you have a building tag. But there's layers to this card. Of course, there's some obvious combos. Media Group, IC, and Advanced Alloys, and it's the absolute best card to unexpectedly swing Miner or Industrialist. But the main reason why I like this card is that it grants instant return instead of delayed return, and therefore it is riskless. You only play this card when you know that you can use the steel immediately afterwards. Therefore, the game can't end before you get back what you paid, so you can play this in literally the last gen, and your steel can't get stolen or destroyed, and you don't have to slowly make up your initial investment, which might prevent you from playing other cards. In my opinion, these factors make this card stronger and more flexible than mine, for example, and bump it up to B tier. But let's combine economic development and flexibility and talk about mining area. This card can do it all. Grant good development, pay back minerals to make sure its already low price won't set you back, place a tile to either annoy your opponents or swing landlord/polar explorer, and grant a tag for builder and contractor. In terms of playability, it's basically a mix between mine and the Mineral Deposit. It's not a great card for the last gen like Mineral Deposit, but it sure is playable much later in the game than mine, since the placement bonus of the tile will pay back nearly everything you paid or even more. Its flexibility doesn't stop there though, as you can choose between steel and titanium depending on your hand. It's an all-around great card. For me, it's also B tier. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know in the comments whether you agree with my ratings, or if not, how you would have rated them differently. Also, if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and consider subscribing. And lastly, please check out my Twitch and my Twitter. See you in the next video.